We've gotten them tapes. Got a big stack of the video game tapes here. It's B-roll time over here at GiantBomb.com in San Francisco. I'm Jeff Gerstmann, joined by video game historian and expert Brad Shoemaker.
I like a tape now and then.
Oh yeah, Brad loves tapes.
Got a stack of tapes.
Yeah, Drew, tapes.
Yeah, I'll be the tape expert.
All right, yeah, we are gonna.
I don't know anything about old video games.
We have worked out a road with which we are gonna just slide tapes on down the line and watch some tapes. We've got some Nintendo tapes. And Sega tape that looked pretty good. Some other stuff. And there's some weird shit in here too.
Yeah.
There's something that I am looking forward to seeing because it just looks like you captured you
I haven't
skimmed
seen
these tapes.
Yeah, I captured them just for in case that this thing dies while we're doing this. We still have the tapes.
Yes.
But yeah, it looked like to me that you just went this and that. I'll have one of these and yeah.
Yeah, no, I had an idea in mind at the start, and then there weren't enough tapes to fill all of that. So I was like, okay, well, these tapes also look good.
Yeah.
So
I'm very excited about.
So we're starting with, I believe it'll be a triad of Nintendo tapes here.
Okay.
We've got E3 Nintendo second half gameplay footage 1998 for game enthusiast media only.
Got a TRT on that thing?
This is from 5/7/99. We do not have a TRT, but all three of these Nintendo tapes are like 20, 30 minutes. Okay. So yeah. So that tape's already in there, but I'll hand you the case here.
All right. Fantastic.
Pass the tapes on down the line. Tapes.
Tapes.
Here's one I made earlier.
All right. You've helpfully fast forwarded past the bars and tone. I like it.
Yeah, got those bars.
Except I love some bars and tone.
Mm-hmm. You listen to it too much, it's like staring into space. You go insane.
Yeah. Might put on headphones here, depending on how the audio is in some of these tapes.
Mm-hmm. It can be erratic.
Yeah.
Let's say. There's one in particular that has a lot of that, and I'm excited to see it in full.
All right.
Time isn't always kind to tapes.
No.
No, definitely not.
Spoilers.
Okay. Jeez.
Oh boy.
Oh yes.
Oh, the new Tetris.
Mm-hmm. New Tetris is awesome. It's so good. I like that this tape is a little dark. It's like we're watching a virtual console version of the game or something.
It's got some weird border. So this is, it's called E3 Nintendo second half. So this is the B-roll from the press conference. Not necessarily like this is the tape that they showed during the press conference, but hey, if we showed a clip of Star Wars Episode 1, we just bundled all the stuff together.
Yeah.
So like, there's nobody talking on this tape, right?
Exactly, yeah. So a lot of this is just footage for, like if you were a TV station doing a news piece on E3 and you needed some game footage.
It's the biggest video game show of the season.
Including Star Wars, one of the biggest franchises around, getting a new game with Episode 1 Racer. They wouldn't even say that. They would not even say Episode 1 Racer. They'd just be like, the Star Wars! And then show this clip under the footage, under the clip.
Oh, jeez.
You can die in Star Wars.
I played this game.
I think I did too.
It's decent.
Was there an arcade version of this?
Yeah, well, so there was an arcade game that is Episode 1 Racer. I just don't know if it's this exact game or not. Or if this was a different...
It's very similar.
Because I want to say that the arcade game was Sega, and then this is like LucasArts put this out separately.
That one you actually drive.
Yeah, you had the two things. Which like was cool. I don't know that I feel like any of these racer games were any good, but like that at least was a cool arcade experience. So yeah, I mean 99, this when games coming out in 99, maybe in some cases 2000, if they got pushed. And
it's not gonna go well for you.
No. I feel like this is like both an era when the N64 was coming into its own, but also an era where I feel like I was increasingly done with everything about the N64. Like how the games looked and ran and felt, and just a lot of stuff.
Yeah, because it was 97 it launched?
96, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so at this point, like the power lines had been drawn, right? Like the trade-offs of like these blurry ass N64 games with all this fog.
Yeah, look at the fog.
Yeah. Versus, you know, the storage capacity of a CD on the PlayStation. You know.
And the load times.
The load time. Yeah.
All right.
Now we're talking.
They just found a new coin in this game like this week.
Huh.
Wait, what?
There's a what is it, like a 5 banana coin, I think it's called. Rainbow coin, maybe. And it was just uncovered for the first time, like, very recently. So anyone doing a 100% run of this game for speedrunning purposes or anything like that, suddenly was like, oh, there's totally an item here that was just hidden in the grass and
nobody
no one
knew
noticed.
about?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't considered part of a 100% run?
No, because people did not know that it existed.
Yeah.
It was not
Wow.
really part of the thing.
I'll bet Ian Kelly knew it existed. I believe he played Donkey Kong 64 for his Extra Life stream.
Oh, okay. This was definitely the game where I was 1,000% done with this style of game. I remember this coming out and going, nope, do not want to play this at all.
Was this rare? Or did they farm it out to somebody?
No, this is
Because they were also doing Banjo, right?
right, but I feel like this was after those, right? I guess I don't have my timeline straight, but yeah, you know, like I didn't necessarily get too into Banjo Tooie either. Banjo Kazooie was kind of it for me, and
We had a lot of these games. We had Banjo Kazooie, Banjo Tooie, Donkey Kong 64, and Earthworm Jim 3D.
Someone out there is very angry that you're lumping Earthworm Jim 3D in with these types of games.
Of those, I probably played Banjo Kazooie and Earthworm Jim the most.
Oh man, I don't remember much about Earthworm Jim 3D. I guess I don't know necessarily remember a ton about it.
Psychro rides a pig and says, "I love the smell of bacon in the morning."
Okay.
And then you pick up cans of beans, and they make you fart really high in the air.
Okay. All right, here we go. So this is Pokemon Stadium, right? Yeah. I remember seeing like the images of this, and like this was maybe the first time that everyone fell for it. They were like, "Oh, finally a Pokemon game on a console. They're gonna do a Pokemon game." Oh wait, no, it's just the fighting. Like there's no RPG here at all. You have to import your kit. Like what? This is. I'm being pretty disappointed upon learning what this thing actually was.
It's just the fighting?
There's like a progression and stuff like that to it, but yeah, it's kind of like, hey, this was the Game Boy transfer pack that would plug into the bottom of the controller. Okay. You can plug your Pokemon cartridges in and transfer your Pokemon into this game, and a couple other ones, and then make a fight.
I mean, Pokemon is pretty much make 'em fight. The series,
yeah,
the franchise.
but like you gotta get the badges and you gotta go places and.
I'm not saying that a fighting-only Pokemon game is a good idea.
Yeah.
Sure is a Charizard.
Fish is on fire.
Yeah.
And the sheer number of models and animations that would go into something like this. I don't know.
Especially
I wonder
now,
how it would compare to another. Here we go.
Now we're talking.
Yes.
What?
This game, not at all disappointing.
Nope.
This game, all killer, no filler. It's the Sum 41 of Pokemon games.
Is this Snap?
It is.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever seen Snap before.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen.
I mean, it's a rail shooter, except you have to like fucking throw apples at them to get them to pose and.
Yeah. Oh, yep. Mm-hmm. I remember everything about these levels.
And also, like, yeah, like there were hidden things. Like if you threw a ball in the right area, that something would jump up out of the water and catch it. Like things you wouldn't normally see. And
Yeah, you got to hit him at this time,
Yeah.
and then this pops up over here.
And then he evolves into this, and then you can get this picture. And
Yeah.
there was just so much stuff like that to this game. Oh, what a cool fucking game.
They haven't even made anything remotely like this since then.
And you could take your cartridge to a Blockbuster and print out your Pokemon photos.
Right, yeah.
Some of those photo stations have made it out there in the wild
Yeah.
and like been sold on eBay and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Weren't people like fixing them up and putting new parts in them
I
and
think
stuff?
they were trying to, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Griffey looks like he needs a sand. Like, what is going on?
If this is an early version of Ken Griffey Jr.'s baseball,
Yeah.
this looks way different than the real game.
I
played the final version a lot.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to say that you worked on that or something.
No.
Yeah, this doesn't look good.
No.
Ow.
And there was only one Griffey for N64, right?
Was there?
I don't know. I'm trying to think if this is the one or...
Hi, I'm Ken Griffey Jr., and you're playing Major League Baseball. These are the same animations that I remember.
Okay. Yeah. There's Major League Baseball featuring Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh, maybe that's
Angel Studios.
maybe that's this then.
And there's also... Okay, so this is a follow-up to Ken Griffey Jr.'s Winning Run, but that was a SNES game.
Okay.
Oh,
then
there's a
was-
sequel the following year called Ken Griffey Jr.'s Slugfest. And that came out in May of '99.
It wasn't Slugfest. So this must be the one that I played.
Drill that baby.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yep. Remember that animation? It's a great game. One of my favorite baseball games.
Really, I just...
I know you're a big fan of
the first SNES game.
Yeah, the
like
SNES
it
one.
was just amazing, and the stuff that came after, you know, like this generation of consoles is when I feel like sports games got away from people like me who didn't actually care about real sports.
Okay. Now batting, Matt Stairs.
Yeah, you know, like in 16-bit consoles, like you know, I played a ton of Joe Montana football. I played a ton of I actually played a lot of Madden.
I played this when I was way into baseball. So, fun.
I guess like when that SNES game came out, that was when I was the most into baseball probably as well. So.
That animation was different. Usually when you are on second base catching a ball from the outfield, he does like this and the ball goes through his butt. Yeah.
It took him a while to add the nuance to
Maybe,
the game.
yeah.
Yeah.
What is this game?
Oh, you know.
Superb Smash Brothers. I wonder if this would have been out in Japan at this point and this would have just been footage, or if this is actual early footage of the game. It's not. I was gonna say this looks pretty plain,
Yeah.
but also the first Smash Brothers was pretty plain by current Smash Brothers standards, I think.
Yeah.
So.
It's weird to see an N64 game running this smoothly.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You saw that third-party stuff where they just didn't give a
Super chunky.
damn about performance.
Chunky frame rates.
Like whatever, it's a licensed game. Who cares?
Did this game blow up big, like when it first came
first
out?
game? I don't know that-
Or was
no,
it, or was it the GameCube version, or the GameCube sequel? I guess.
The GameCube version was
That
where it
really-
got super huge. Like
really
this game
exploded.
came. I reviewed the Japanese version of this game when it came out and enjoyed it. I thought like, man, this is, you know, what a fucking weird thing.
Oof.
People that were into the 64 version that were really into it. I don't know. There certainly weren't as many that were like,
Yeah,
as
not like
diehard,
it
but
is
the ones
now,
that were
But yeah.
just as diehard as you would expect.
Yeah, this was a neat game. Like, I thought that maybe this first game, and I guess actually I feel this way about most of them, is that they just don't have a lot of good single-player stuff. Like if you think about it in terms of like all these Nintendo characters coming together, all these backgrounds from these different universes, like there's an awesome, crazy single-player thing you could do, and they so rarely tap into that. There was one time they had that mode. Not on this most recent one, but I think it was the Wii one before that had the weird, like they tried to do a story mode. I forget. The new Tetris is awesome. I mean, it's Tetris, but
But
But it's awesome.
okay.
Yeah.
And even just static images look blurry and weird.
But so this was the game that had you, like, every line you completed in this game contributed to you building the 7 wonders of the world.
Oh.
There was a whole external thing. Also, it had a really good competitive 4-player mode. And like good stat tracking, like you enter these names and stuff, and you would pick it every time you play, and it'd be like, here's how many lines you've completed over your entire time with the game.
Oh, wow,
like,
sure.
Me and some friends got way fucking into this game. Just because it was a fun ass Tetris game.
This is mesmerizing.
Some rough play coming out of Eric on this one, I'm gonna say. Like, Eric's not, as a Tetris expert.
Oh, Jimmy.
Okay, all right, you did a little.
Oh. Wow.
Who's doing Tetris games at that point?
I don't know.
Jet Force Gemini. This is a game that I always saw in the video store and never picked it up. I don't even know what this game is. I've heard the name forever. I don't actually know what Jet Force Gemini is.
It's a platformer shootery type thing from Rare. It's in Rare Replay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why those ants look familiar.
Rare Replay was the first time I'd ever seen it.
I have never ever thought highly of Jet Force Gemini. Like, there are definitely people that love it, but I just, again, this was at a time where I just would look at it and go like, ugh, like it just looks terrible. Like the sound was always so bad on a lot of these games.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
This guy's getting down.
Oh yeah.
True.
Uh-oh.
I just remember not controlling. I just never really liking the way it controlled.
Did that tank just bark?
I think it barked and jumped into the air and then turned into a hovercraft. Yep, no,
Oh,
it definitely
a dog.
barked.
Okay. Duh! I know, Winamp visualizer?
Sonic the Hedgehog running, getting rings. This is just Descent now.
Man, there's kind of a lot going on in this game.
Yeah.
I feel like games that did that transition
Overflow. Overflow.
Pre-release software.
Yeah.
Live demo.
Is that how the character looked in the final game? I feel like even maybe this player model might have changed.
It doesn't look familiar to me.
I could be crazy. I don't know. Like I said, some of these games is super hazy for me. I'm gonna look up.
I mean,
Jet
it's the
Force
64.
Gemini.
So
Yeah, well, yeah.
They're all kind
It was very dreamy, with no sound effects,
Yeah.
and this just weird ethereal music going on.
Jet Force Gemini.
of. Man, Rory did a game guide for this.
No, this would have been before his time for sure.
Yeah, well, according to GiantBomb.com, the main character definitely looked something like that, but the image I'm looking at here is not gameplay.
Whoa.
That's Perfect Dark.
Ah.
I finished the Perfect Dark campaign standing up inside some kind of weird nightclub in Seattle. Played through it in its entirety in one sitting.
Not that long.
One standing.
On standing, yeah.
Why the big hurry?
We want
I've never played this.
No?
I know a lot of people who really, really like it. What did you think when you played it first?
I remember thinking it was neat, but that maybe the time for GoldenEye-like shooters had kind of passed.
What was this, 2000? Right?
Yeah.
I think.
They put this tape out in mid-99.
It was like 3 years from GoldenEye to this.
Yeah.
Straight up the like GoldenEye Spawn
Like
animation.
a lot of really good PC first-person shooters had come out by the time this came out.
Right, yeah.
So the landscape was kind of changing for this stuff.
Yeah. This was a game for people who really loved GoldenEye and didn't move on to anything else, because it's basically GoldenEye.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, this game's pretty much like, hey, we want to make another GoldenEye, but not pay for the Bond license, right?
Yeah.
I should play it then.
Yeah, I mean, it was incredibly well received. On the multiplayer front, like, it had just a ton of stuff. You know, you had more multiplayer options at your disposal if you had the expansion pack. Like, I think if you didn't have the expansion pack, not only would the single player game look a little rougher, I guess, if I remember right, but also there were just multiplayer options that you could not do. I think it was around bots and stuff, mostly, but I don't remember for sure. But yeah, I don't know, they had some event. You know, I went up to Seattle for some Nintendo event around Perfect Dark. I'm trying to think if this was they had us in a car driving around to some bad neighborhood, and then we got some goose chase. They did a couple of things like that. For Ocarina of Time, they actually had us on we're just gonna spend a whole day going around Seattle, and hey, we're going to the top of the Space Needle for the end of it was dinner on the top of the Space Needle. But it was like,
That sounds pretty cool.
it was like a scavenger hunt type thing, or like a, you know, they would give us clues and we would have to go to different locations and like.
Does that happen?
No, not anymore. They broke everyone up into teams.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
Oof. Game publishers used to do all kinds of
they
elaborate.
broke all the journalists up into teams, and like everyone kind of went around from one thing to the next, solving clues. And every team had a car and a driver, so we'd be like, "You drive us here."
Like these days, at best, they will invite you to like a hotel room.
And the hotel room is usually up the street from
Or a
here,
conference room,
which is,
yeah,
you know,
a few blocks away, and say like, "Hey, sit down for 30 minutes and play this game."
And
Okay,
honestly,
see you later.
way better.
Here's a bottle of water. Yeah, like
Like, not that stuff was fun, but it was like,
yeah, but
I look at it now and go like, man,
you don't need any of that to cover a video game.
totally not. Pokemon Pinball is a great game.
Yeah.
I guess this footage would have come out of a Game Boy Color Wide Boy.
Was that? Well, I was about to ask if that was the GameCube attachment, but of course not. The GameCube
Yeah, no, this is
didn't exist.
N64 era, so.
What is a wide boy?
Wide Boy is the dev kit. It's the equivalent of our 3DS capture
okay.
kit. The Wide Boy was,
I don't think I've ever seen one.
it is very, like, it's a handful of different devices that were known as Wide Boys, but they were basically like, here's how to play a Game Boy on a TV.
Okay. And then what's the thing that does attach to the GameCube? The
Game Boy Player.
Game Boy Player. Right.
Saw some of those in Japan. They're still kicking around.
Yeah.
Someone made a new boot disc for the Game Boy Player that is like better, like slightly better at upscaled resolutions. Like, you know, you going on your FrameMeister kick might be interested in it, and I think better input latency
Okay.
stuff.
Huh. Boot disc?
Yeah.
Game Boy Player takes discs?
Yeah,
What?
it needs a disc to, you know, you bolt it to the bottom of the GameCube, but you still have to put a disc in to get it to.
Oh, a GameCube disc. I thought, for some reason, I was thinking you meant it had a floppy slot.
No.
Of course, yes, that makes perfect sense.
Ooh, that frame rate on that throw. Oh, that guy, what's he doing in the
Don't worry about it.
huffing and puffing, doing something?
Nope.
I wonder, oh
Out.
boy, I wonder if this game came out looking like this, or if it was smoother by the time it shipped, because yikes. Though,
Some of the up-close animations look all right.
yeah. But just something about like the frame rate of the ball moving in the field and stuff, it just seems like it'd be really hard to deal with.
Yeah.
But that's actually like, you go back to a lot of Game Boy games now, it's surprising at how many of them kind of just ran like this. You go back and, when was the last time you looked at Mortal Kombat running on a Game Boy? Not that that's like a great example of the hardware's capabilities or anything, but holy shit, it's fucking terrible.
I believe it.
Do you think back then people were much more lenient when it came to frame rate?
Yeah, that's just kind of what you had, you know?
Yeah, I mean, especially on a handheld, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you know, the handheld is what it is.
Ooh. Look at this.
Yeah,
Look at that frame rate.
I totally forgot this game exists.
yeah.
Isn't this like play area like really cropped from
Yes, yeah.
from the actual game?
Yeah, you're right.
Like you can't fit nearly as much on the screen.
Yeah.
When you're looking at a tiny screen, you want a character to be
Yeah. You need Mario to look good.
get all of the coin. Thank you.
What? Why would you? There was a. There. Okay. All right. Get the star. No. That's you're the. I mean, unless you're trying to speed run, it's the worst.
Don't you hate it when you do that? You just feel like the dumbest person in the world.
Yeah. I remember being actually somewhat excited that this thing was coming out. We're like, oh man, they're putting Super Mario Bros. 1 out on the Game Boy Color. That's cool.
Does Deluxe mean anything else?
I can't remember.
I don't remember if there's anything else in it. Maybe there's like a weird multiplayer mode or something. The Ultimate Challenge, R-Type DX.
Oh my.
I wonder if this is like a direct port of any of the R-Type games, or if this is an original R-Type game.
It looks like one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
almost
makes
definitely
sense.
one.
Yeah, I guess I don't. I played most of the R-Type games, but never really had a huge affinity for them.
I like R-Type a lot. I love this. I played this game in the arcade a ton.
I was just more of a Gradius guy. I was
I
listening.
mean, I like both.
Yeah.
They're just different. They were very different.
I was listening to Gradius music this morning, putting on shoes. Just woke up with it stuck in my head. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna have to listen to that before I go, because otherwise, this day is gonna be rough.
I walked over to deliver Peter Brown his FrameMeister, and he was playing Gradius on his analog NT and PVM.
Nice.
Yeah.
R-Type.
Yeah.
R-Type
I have my Famicom copy of Gradius here.
I was just gonna say R-Type's like stayed relevant for a weirdly long time.
Yeah.
Like R-Type Delta.
Yeah, PS1.
Like they kept
era
putting out
stuff,
good
yeah.
R-Types for a while.
So gosh, this is gonna be Tetris for Game Boy Color. Like, what actually is this? Is this Tetris DX? There is a game called Tetris DX, but if I had taken a picture with my phone of the bit at the intro of this video that said what the games were.
Sometimes the B-roll comes with a little slip
Yeah.
of the games listed.
Yeah, okay. A colorized remake of the game was released on Game Boy Color entitled Tetris DX. So that's probably what this is.
So it's just Tetris
Yeah, probably.
with some color. Tetris in color.
Didn't the Game Boy Color have some weird hooks where it could kind of colorize some of the old black and white
Stuff
games?
that had it had some palettes that it would just choose from.
Right.
And if a game had support for the Super Game Boy,
Yeah.
which had some color stuff,
Right.
I believe Super Game Boy palettes would come in.
Okay.
But yeah, like you could play Super Mario Land on it, and I believe cycle through a couple different palettes. Like
Right.
teal, berry,
Yeah.
kiwi, dandelion, grape,
Oh, yeah,
or
of
atomic
course.
purple.
Atomic purple.
Oh right, this was right around the time of all the original like iMac bullshit, like the colored plastics and transparent
Yeah,
everything.
I want to say the Game Boy Player for the GameCube allows you to cycle through color palettes.
Yeah, yeah.
Also.
I'm sure.
Is that it
Sure,
for this
probably
disc?
That might
Yeah.
be.
That's probably
Tape?
it for this
I
tape.
think that's it.
Yeah.
Game
Oh, yeah.
discs is a totally different thing.
Yep.
Totally different brand, totally different quality of product. All right,
Tape, my friend.
tape. Here we've got
Tape me.
more Nintendo. Okay, so this tape is weird. This is a PAL tape.
Okay.
It's still a beta tape, but it is recorded in PAL. This is Nintendo Herbst Winter Releases 1999. PAL, 23 minutes.
Is Herb some kind of PR firm?
Probably. It's probably like whatever their UK firm or something is. I don't know.
Here we are. There's the tape.
All right, so that player does PAL, you tell me?
It does. So let me. Can I do it from here. I think it's this. Yep.
Okay, so now you've got a menu up here on the TV.
Yep. This.
Okay.
And then I scroll the
Push that
wheel.
button!
Push that button!
Oh.
Push that button.
Then it looked like it wanted you to turn off on power.
And.
Uh-oh.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And when I turn this back on this display, it should say 625 right up here, and it does. Perfect.
All right.
All right.
Video format not supported.
Well, it's
That's what our TV says, but
How old do you think that deck is?
I don't know.
20 years? Almost?
No.
Late 90s?
No, we didn't. Yeah, probably something like that.
That's almost 20 years.
Oh,
I hate to tell you.
okay.
well.
Rolling. Jason, you get anything back there?
I mean, were you guys using stuff like this at the beginning?
No, not
Of
the
GameSpot?
beginning. No,
Or this was...
we were using SVHS VCRs.
Okay, this was later on.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right, we might have to watch this tape on that display.
Huh.
Because
Yeah, or Jason, if you could give us program feed on the camera right.
oh yeah, that would work too.
Not currently.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, a fade on the bars. You don't see that a lot. But they really want to. All your footage needs to get away from the bars, so they
Yeah.
put a lot of black in between. Yeah.
Okay.
So wait a second. What is this? What's with the border?
This might be. Well, this is it probably running on. What the fuck is this? Is this Super Game Boy?
Could be, right? That thing had borders, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It would have definitely have borders for.
It's something because there were colors in there.
Right. And this is just Pokemon Red, so. When did the Super Game Boy come out? He asked his phone and then typed it in because phones are not. Can't do that. This phone can. Anyway.
Tiny Turtle.
You know what? There was also a way to play this game in Pokemon Stadium, like through the transfer pack, I think. You could play Pokemon games.
Weird.
So this could be an N64? Yeah, no, the Super Game Boy came out in '94, so that doesn't make any sense.
A lot of those in Japan as well.
Yeah.
I thought like when I had heard about the Super Game Boy and the Game Boy Player, I thought those were like super rare things, but they're kind of ubiquitous.
Yeah, no, that stuff's.
I think pretty much whenever you hear about something that you had never seen as a child, or like heard about on the playground,
Yeah, you assume
then it
that-
becomes it's like
Yeah, and
Mythical.
you're suddenly in a store where there's like 40 of them. You're like,
I need to get all these.
that's how I ended up with all those Neo Geo games. Yeah, but you go to the Game Boy Tower in Pokemon Stadium 1 or 2, and you could play these on an N64.
Okay.
But it only worked with Pokemon games. It did not work widely with other Game Boy games. Even though theoretically it probably could. I wonder if there were ever like Game Shark codes or anything like that that would let you just play whatever.
Probably a long Game Shark code.
Yeah.
Original Pokemon. Pretty good game.
What is this tape? This is such a weird.
Winter releases 1999. I mean, this was given to GameSpot for promotional
Yeah, this would have probably been us
at
going,
an event? Or-
Yeah, this probably
okay.
would have been us going over there for ECTS, which was the trade show there before Gamescom was the big trade show in that area.
Okay.
And so
Where was that?
ECTS was in London usually.
Some PAL region.
Yeah, yeah. So we would send people over there every year. I went once in 2001.
Was it a trade show?
Yeah. And that's when GameSpot UK existed and was a separate entity from regular GameSpot. Like they would kind of run their own stories and reviews and stuff like that, and we didn't really. We were interfacing with them more and more, getting more and more control over it, I think, at the time, but it was kind of still its own weird thing. So it was like that year was like me and Tim Tracy and Sam Parker went over and just kind of like worked out of the GameSpot UK booth the same way that GameSpot UK would send some people to E3 and they would work out our booth. It's just a weird trade show where they had karaoke machines. I did some singing.
I really like lo-fi sports games.
Yeah.
I think those are my favorite. Like when you have to distill down a sport into its basic elements
Yeah.
and then make that fun,
Right.
I think that's where like the games are fun. When they turn into like a simulation, something, it's oddly, the more you put in, the more is lost, I feel.
Yeah. Or or then it just becomes a thing that only appeals to people that love the sport so much they want to see it, just how faithfully it can be replicated, and that's just a weird goal.
Yeah.
Like this looks like a pretty fucking good golf game.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Oh, heartbreak.
You're shaking your
Mario's
head
not
at it. It's a
impressed.
par.
Yeah, it'll be
A board game adventure? Is that what that's saying? I couldn't see where those passwords were. Wait, this is in German. Uh-huh. Well, now that we did all the Mario parties,
Yeah, this.
I mean, I'll bet the GameSpot library has a German version of Beauty and the Beast, the board game adventure.
Time to get back to work.
Wait, is it sort of like Mario Party where there are mini games
It
between?
seems like it.
Seems to be the case.
But with it being a Game Boy game, it's one you're probably designed to play by yourself. Yeah. Maybe use a link cable or something, but
Oh boy.
oh, now we're gaming.
I mean, it's pretty good horse animation.
It is.
yeah.
Yeah, it looks all right. People doing some good work on the.
Level 2.
Yeah, there's
On the Game
some
Boy.
awesome Game Boy Color stuff.
Is this like a Game & Watch collection?
Yeah, probably, yeah. Yes. Yeah, right. And they kind of redid the Game & Watch games and put like Yoshi and more modern
Okay.
Nintendo characters in them. Game & Watch Gallery
Okay.
is probably what this was called.
Actually, there's a slip here.
Oh.
Game & Watch Gallery 4.
4. Yeah, man. Never owned a Game & Watch when they were like out, and I always thought that they were just the coolest looking things.
Yeah, I never had one either.
I had one of those Tiger
I had one.
games?
I had one Tiger thing. Yeah.
racing game.
I had Mouse Maze.
I had a. I mean, it was like a red, almost LED looking thing. It was a Wildfire. It was a pinball machine.
Huh.
It was like a little handheld pinball thing. It was cool as hell.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Speaking of great golf games.
Yeah, just a proper fucking golf Camelot coming at you, full bore. Oh.
I played a lot of this game.
I guess this still would have been the era when PAL games ran slower than their NTSC counterparts, right?
I think that was true
At least not the Game
until
Boy games. But... Yoshi getting it done.
I think that was just an effect of how the TVs worked, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So up
they were
until
50 hertz, so the
up
games
until
ran.
HDTV happened, I think that was always the case, right?
Yeah, so you'd always see like F-Zero times or whatever that couldn't be compared between regions because of how that stuff went.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
It's cool. It does that.
Sounds coming out of the tape deck.
It was also one of the weird things about the Commodore 64 in particular. Man, just fucking kicking out these old ones. Was that most of those games were designed for the PAL region. So here, all those games ran faster than they were supposed to. And so it's weird sometimes going back now and playing those games on a PC and playing them on a fake PAL N64 or a fake PAL C64. Going like, oh, this music makes a little more sense, like just slightly slowed down, a little less jumbled up. Yeah. Is this stretched? Is this? I was gonna say N64 probably should. Okay.
Nice birdie. Nice shot.
Nice shot. Fan of the green says, nice on.
Nice on.
Look at that roster.
And who are those randos on the far left? Those aren't Mario characters.
It's that one-handed. Bowser don't give a fuck. It's a big cactus.
Tough line.
It's weird, you know, like I have a lot of fondness for this style of golf game and Hot Shots and all the stuff that Camelot has done and all these other developers that clap hands, all that other stuff. But I played a ton of them, and like I don't necessarily have the itch anymore. Like it doesn't come back either. Like I played so many of those types of golf games over the years that it's.
Say you walk into an arcade and there's a golden tee there. Do you play it?
No, I never had any affinity for Golden Tee.
I'll play some golden tee.
Also, this remix of this song is one of the things that makes New Tetris really good.
This is a Tetris game?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow. Sure.
See, building these wonders.
Look at oh, jeez.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of lines.
That's neat.
Yeah, so you would have to play this game for a fucking year.
very long
I think
time.
we eventually did it all, too.
Was it just like every line that you earned?
Every line was
single
completed in
mode,
the game across all players contributed.
all players and all
It was
modes?
like the world block in that
That's
Vita version of Luminous.
That's super awesome.
That's a great idea.
Except it wasn't online, so it was just like you just had to fucking grind it out yourself.
Did you finish all the wonders?
Yeah. Yeah, we eventually did.
It's a lot of Tetris.
Double dose of the new Tetris today.
Yeah. You know, like I said, I was kind of looking for tapes of a specific era, and you know, obviously Nintendo's been in the news a ton with the Switch getting ready to launch, so I figured I'd pull some of those together.
Sure.
Yeah, just the breaking noise when you make lines, that little, almost sounds like someone throwing a bunch of Scrabble tiles at a wall.
Still remember the commercial for this. With the turtles happy together.
Oh, right.
And they're all like people dressed in mascots
Yeah.
as Nintendo characters. And
Yeah,
they're
that sounds familiar.
like frolicking through a field and they start fighting.
Yeah.
It's a really good commercial.
Mouse Pokemon.
Did you see they're doing a Super Bowl commercial this year for Switch?
No.
Really?
Did they debut the actual commercial, or they just said
There's
they're
an
going to do
extended
it?
version. I guess it'll be during the game. But,
Okay. So no idea what it is exactly.
Oh, they put out
Oh, the commercial is
the
out.
non-extended version of it. It'll just, I think the extended version is just gonna have more Zelda footage in it or something.
Is it pretty straightforward, or?
I didn't watch it. I don't know. Someone said it had an Imagine Dragons song in it, so I was like, ah, fuck that.
Gosh, that's this weekend.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if it's only 30 seconds or a minute, that doesn't give you much time to like sell all the concepts in that thing to an audience that isn't familiar with it. You know?
Right. Also, one would assume that will take enough pre-orders to sell out at launch. So I don't. Whatever. I guess they got to build awareness that the thing exists, right?
Yeah.
I think that's got a pretty good 30-second or 60-second hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can-
the pull it off the dock and like that shot from the original video they put out of like here's the TV in the background and you yank it out. Like, that is most of what you need to know. In 3 seconds.
Like they should end the commercial with someone sliding the controller off the side very gently to just tantalize you. Go, what the fuck is going on? Like, you know.
Here's this.
Right? Yeah. Just 30 seconds of count.
It's like a perfume commercial. It's this and then switch.
Yeah.
You guys still have your pre-orders?
Yeah.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Just a little.
Yeah.
What was that?
Oh.
Yes.
I like that at least this all seems to be new footage.
Yeah.
9.
And often language appropriate.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Man, it must have been expensive back then, giving out assets to press, having to buy all these tapes.
I want to say, like, these blank tapes were always like $20 a pop or
Right.
something, so it makes sense why they would go like, are you broadcast?
Right.
Because we don't want to give these to idiots.
And a lot of them have like, what, 15 minutes of footage on them or something?
Yeah,
Like they're
yeah.
not getting a lot of value out of those.
Well, you could get these tapes in 20-minute, you could get 20-minute B-roll
Oh,
tapes
okay,
and stuff, so
okay.
yeah, it wasn't like they were always leaving.
How would you convince them? Yes, we broadcast to the internet.
No, you just say yes.
Okay.
You would convince them by lying.
Okay.
And saying yes, absolutely.
Because internet, ain't no videos on the internet.
Right.
That was almost true back then.
I love that little clip there. Here's just a giant thing just cruising by.
In case you need one of these in your edit.
Yeah.
It's a lot of Jet Force Gemini footage, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that player model look different than it did in the other footage?
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't it red in the other one?
Red and white.
I think there are multiple. You can play as the two characters.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So that's probably what it is. But I feel like even the style
Yeah.
looks a little different.
I think so.
Is there a date on that E3 thing?
Yeah, is that, well, that would
That
have
was
been,
May. That was May 99.
And this is winter
this is
99.
like 6
so.
months later or something.
Ah.
I say we dig enough, we'll eventually find footage of that N60 Dinosaur Planet. The game that eventually became Star Fox
Fox
Adventures.
Yeah.
They showed that at E3 on the N64 at one point. What was the other game? There was that, and was there one other one that they showed on N64 that eventually moved over?
I think so, but I can't. It's not coming to mind.
Man, they went all out with Jet Force Gemini.
Yeah, I remember being a pretty big deal for them at the time. Like now that I think about it, like I feel like there was this huge section of their E3 booth that was just like rows and rows of kiosks. Like I remember these blue kiosks, like larger than average areas for playing the game that they were putting people in. God, it seems like a thing I shouldn't be able to remember. Oh. You join in? Do you want
To
to
clap,
and
take you through this
monkey
monkey
rap? Oh.
Donkey Kong.
Nice. He's got a necktie on.
He's finally back to kick some tail.
To me,
What's the best Donkey Kong game, Jeff?
Donkey Kong.
What's the best non-Donkey Kong Donkey Kong game?
Donkey Kong Jr.
Yeah.
Also, Mario vs. Donkey Kong's pretty good.
Yeah, those are good games.
But that's how I like my Donkey Kong. I like my Donkey Kong as foil for
Adversarial.
Mario. Not out on his own, gallivanting about, doing whatever the fuck this is. What is this fire?
Yeah, at some point he became a good guy.
Yeah. Well, you know, Donkey Kong Jr. definitely cast Donkey Kong as a sympathetic figure because he was locked in the cage and Mario was the bad guy. Because you were Donkey Kong Jr. saving Donkey Kong from the evil Mario.
From Mario.
Also, like, who is the Donkey Kong in Country? It's not original.
It's Donkey Kong Jr.
Is the main guy.
Yeah. So then
Cranky Kong is
Kong is
original.
actually original Donkey Kong.
Okay.
There's some deep lore to Donkey Kong.
So I hear.
I think Patrick Klepek posted a screenshot of like the Wikia for Donkey Kong. There's like a war
What?
that that is not mentioned, but that
It's hinted at.
it's hinted at.
Just enough to where they've built this elaborate.
Of like two different Kong factions. Yeah. I don't pretend to know it, but I read that thing and now I can't get it out of my head.
I need a Hyrule Historia just for the Donkey Kong timeline. Really dig into this.
Nice coffee table book.
Yeah.
Wish I could do that. Terrible at handstands.
Takes a lot of
too.
upper body strength.
Yeah, I'm pretty much like, fuck Diddy Kong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No love.
I like his racing game. You could be a hovercraft, you could be a plane, you could be a cart.
A lot of options.
This is just fucked up.
What are those guys called?
Is it King K. Rool? What are the, like the Gators or whatever?
You don't see a lot of shrinking and growing in video games anymore.
Yeah, I guess not.
I guess maybe because you don't have these 3D platformers a lot. But I feel like that is if there was a video game tropes
Sure.
website,
Yeah.
you ever think about that? Like a trope? wiki entry?
We kind of,
We have concepts, I guess.
yeah, you know, you'd have a concept page for growing and shrinking. But yeah, like this game, the Banjo games, Conquer, there were just a lot of these. You know? Wait, I thought we already had. Didn't we already have Smash Brothers footage in this?
Yeah.
On this specific tape?
Yes, we did.
What are we looking at over there, Drew? You got the card.
Yeah. Yeah, it goes Smash Brothers, Jet Force Gemini, Donkey Kong, and then it ends.
Oh, okay. Maybe they just
Maybe
threw
that
that
was
little
it.
Smash Brothers thing
Little
on
stinger.
the tail of it, just like, hey, here you go.
Oh, by the way, we were wondering what that Pokemon game was at the front.
Yeah.
I have an answer now.
Yes.
Jason, if you would.
Aha! Mystery solved.
Great.
Good to know.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to change this thing back to NTSC.
NTSC.
Okay.
Jason, I'm gonna take this opportunity to hop up real
All
fast.
right. Yeah, run to the restroom. Process what you've seen.
So in
'Cause-
1999, what were you doing with that B-roll?
We would put it up raw usually. I mean, you know, in 99, like we weren't necessarily on camera ourselves all that often. I think maybe by then we had started to experiment with video reviews, but actually maybe not even. We probably took a lot of screenshots from it. And in some cases would have just trimmed those out and put them up. But also they really didn't like it if you put up the B-roll raw. So sometimes you would do that and then get calls going, hey, take that down, that's for broadcast. And you'd be
You're
like,
not
ha yeah.
You're an internet.
And then you would take it down. But you know, also like there was a GameSpot TV, there was
What was GameSpot TV?
GameSpot TV was XPlay.
Huh.
So XPlay was originally before it was XPlay, it was Extended Play.
Right.
And then before that, it was GameSpot TV.
Okay.
And so
I remember the extended play days.
yeah, so we were part of the ZDNet family, and ZD TV was on the air, which eventually would become Tech TV and then G4. And so they used the GameSpot name for a television show, and they went out and cast people to be on it. Lauren Fielder, she was Fielder at the time, she was in-house here doing news stuff for us, and she became the first one of she became one of the hosts of the show. And they brought in Adam Sessler, who had applied for the gig. I think he was working at a bank at the time. And so it was Sessler and Lauren, and then this guy John something, and they had this segment that like me and Ryan McDonald might have. I think we were on the first episode of it, but we were on a few here and there. And they had a boxing ring. And they would have like competitive fights happen in the ring. And then this guy, John, who was very much like Dan Cortez, MTV sports style, like boom, land, like real loud in your face, dude. It was just like, fucking what? And I remember thinking at the time, like, man, it's really bumming me out that like the brand we have worked so hard to build is being turned into this guy going, because it was so not us. And all that. But you know, they would take basically like for years they took our reviews, distilled them into a television-friendly format, and basically they were doing short-form video reviews.
And then would that guy throw to your review?
No.
Or they would have their own thing?
Well, no, they would read it. They would edit the scripts down, all the other stuff.
Oh,
it wasn't us delivering. Like
wow.
we were only on those shows as guests.
Huh.
Like we were not. Lauren was the only one who was kind of the go-between for the production process. Like I would see some stuff because they were running scripts past her, and sometimes she would show them around to other people to make sure that stuff was like on the level. But we were only on those shows as guests. And so GameSpot TV was always a really weird thing. And then, you know, it kind of just, they went off and did their own thing. And, you know, eventually Lauren left the show and, oh, what was her name? Kate something came on, and then Morgan Webb would come along, you know, years later, I guess, to be on it. So that's part of why, that's why G4 had to start hiring a bunch of game reviewers, is because eventually we split. We got sold to CNET, and we were no longer part of the ZDNet family. That's why ZDTV had to become Tech TV. And then they no longer had access to our reviews. So like all of their content was pulling from our news and reviews.
Right.
So suddenly it was like, oh shit, how do we have this TV show? And so they built an editorial team that Shane Soderfield, who was at GameSpot for a while, went over there and did that. And then he went on to go do game trailers, and now he's doing Sifted and some other stuff. But yeah, so it was, yeah, they had this logo that was like, so the GameSpot logo, the G used to have like a sunburst around it. And so they did that. They tried to take that treatment, but it extended the circle out into an oval that just said GameSpot TV. And I just thought it was the ugliest thing in the world. It just bummed me out so much. Like, there were so many things about that show that were such a bummer out of the gate, like coming from like, oh man, like we do a bunch of video stuff. Like it was that feeling of just like, what the fuck, man? Why aren't we doing our own TV show? What the fuck? And eventually, like whatever. I think it was maybe rough at the start, but it came into its own pretty fast. And you know, like I thought Adam and Lauren were pretty awesome as a duo, and then you know, like it went on from there. So
Cool.
yeah, this third Nintendo tape is really fucking weird.
Yeah.
So I think this goes to 2003. And
2002, I
oh,
think.
okay, all right.
According to the GameSpot Live identifier number, which I think applied by Rich Gallup.
Yeah, that would make
How do
sense.
you tell?
He said that he cataloged
told
most of
me.
these tapes.
That's right. He started as an intern, didn't
Yep.
he?
Yeah.
That's right.
Here we go. Yeah.
We lost signal.
Aha.
Give me a second.
We lost signal.
What I'm going to do is tell me when you're ready.
All right, we're rolling.
Okay. All right, this next tape is a little weird. So let's just get into it. I'm not too sure about the origins of it.
Press and play.
Whoa.
It is.
Actually, what I'm
Look
gonna
at that
do is
thing.
Tell me when you're ready to roll, because I'm going to turn it. Actually, I'm going to turn it on. So
This is some real B-roll.
Yeah.
Are those like stage directions or production?
Yeah, it's like the camera guy going like, all right, I'm rolling.
These headphones on.
Yeah. I want to hear. So I guess this was the unveiling of the GBASP.
Yeah, it says press release tape number 1.
Okay.
Huh.
And so there, I can see over here that only the right channel is doing anything right now. And yeah, you can see it up on the screen too. So the right channel is like the onboard
I
microphone.
already used what you just shot, but if you just want to give me one more take.
On the camera?
Yeah. Or like some kind of room-mounted mic.
Yeah.
And then the left channel, I think, is whenever there's a microphone.
I'm wondering if it's worth shooting something like something, you know, just kind of its profile and all.
That's either like a producer or a Nintendo person.
What Zelda is that? Is that Link to the Past? What do they call that?
All right,
They,
let me do one.
they did put out Link to the Past, right?
I think so.
On
Yeah.
GBA?
Yeah.
Was it like DX or something like that?
Probably.
And why don't we shoot the close-up of the unveil?
Whoa. Under glass.
Nobody's in here yet, right?
Wow. Seems weird they would put out B-roll of this.
Well, no, you know,
No self-respecting like TV channel.
exactly is going to use that.
Look at
right?
that! Wow, look at that step and repeat.
You can go just a little closer for me so you don't see me.
And speed.
Huh.
Wait a minute.
Whoosh.
Oh, that should be up.
Nope.
Yeah.
Let's try it again.
Let's do it again. Put it up. This looks dumb.
It should be open.
It's very confusing.
Wait, you didn't open it all the way.
Speed.
It's a bad angle.
Yeah.
Tilt the screen a little bit further back and do it again. Come on. Have some self-respect.
Hey, you don't play with it out here. Like,
Yeah.
you don't-
GBSP, hell of a device.
Good.
Yeah, it was good.
Did you have
It was
with that?
necessary.
Yeah.
First GBA was such a disaster.
And we're gonna get people playing them in the back after the press conference anyway. So, but that
I never
was
did, like, get a
that
modded
close-up of the
original
unveil.
GBA. I bought a worm light for it.
Sure is a press conference.
Yep. Yeah, I still have an afterburner of GBA Lite into mod kit, like still in the box.
Right. Oh, wow.
Because I bought one and then realized I have no fucking idea.
This thing in? Right. I
It's a pretty small room. Was there a date on this?
2002? 3?
That sounds.
2002. Gonna use all this B-roll, especially that guy. Yes.
Oh,
that
okay,
is-
here we go. This is the hero shot.
Yeah, perfect for my news segment about the Game Boy Advance SP.
Good morning. My name is Beth Llewellyn, and I am the Director of Corporate Communications for Nintendo.
Those are 3 first
And
names.
today I also have a very important role of acting as your tour guide
Llewellyn's
for
one word.
the immediate future of handheld video gaming. Because the Game Boy family has a new addition, a new screen-lighted flip design model we're calling Game Boy Advance SP.
Did you say what SP stood for?
Spec-
Special.
This new edition has great pedigree. Exactly the same core technology that has made Game Boy Advance the best-selling video game system ever. It's already
Still
in
at
the
that weird
hands of
angle.
more than 11.5 million Americans a little over a year since launch. But it also contains something brand new. In response to many requests from consumers,
It's brought to
we're equipping the SP model with
many
an
requests.
illuminated display. I'll ask Nintendo's Chris Campbell to do the honors so you can get a close-up look of the new system on the monitor behind me. I think immediately you'll notice 2 things. First, look at how bright it is. It is gameplay that will stand up to the brightest sunlight or the darkest room.
This is a great shot.
The system features a light system.
Look at this dude.
And it can be easily turned on or off depending on the lighting conditions. And second, how slick it is. It really is the
Bro, you already
sleekest,
got that
most
shot.
sophisticated Game Boy system ever. And when it's flipped
Remember with the
closed,
unveiling?
every pocket, every purse, every briefcase will find a corner to hold it. Now let me have Chris take over for a more.
Like, I wonder if there were other cameras that were just like, well, I'm just going to shoot her. I'll get the close-up of her. Like what was this tape?
Maybe this is that's on tape
Start
2.
off by pointing out, and this is just a really cool piece of electronics. I mean, I'm a gadget guy, and this is a really cool gadget. What Beth was saying is
That's
that
not wrong.
this is the
No,
Game Boy Advance.
for its day, yeah. It's just the concept now of like that, like plasticky thing
Yeah.
It has the same processing power.
in a world of glass-backed phones and all this other stuff.
The
Like,
two obvious ones. I'll kind of take you on a quick tour of the system itself. I mean, obviously we have a D-pad here.
oh,
We have the 2 A and B buttons.
Hang on.
Start and select.
Oh.
This button right here controls the front lighting. So if you're in a bright light situation,
By all means,
like I am,
zoom in on the man.
and you can turn that light off, and that saves your battery.
Okay, you
If
can't
you're
see
in
it.
a low lighting
All right,
situation
stand
like
clear.
I was at Pokémans over the holiday, you can push that button and it
Good
comes
zoom
on. The
choice.
shoulder buttons are back here, the L and the R button. We also have we have 2 ports here. One is for the rechargeable battery adapter that will come with this system, and here's where the game is. And important to point out that since this is the same hardware, it's compatible with all of the Game Boy games that have been released, and that's over 1,000 in North America alone. This right here is the power indicator light. This changes colors when your battery is going low.
Oh.
This is a charge light.
Really don't know that needed to be walked through
Really
at,
makes this Game Boy
in this level of
special to me.
detail, but I guess there's not much else to say other
Yeah.
than it's a
So whenever I
sick-ass
travel, I
new
have these
GBA.
AA batteries,
Hey, it's got a light in it.
and I have my Game Boy and all of my games.
You don't have to hold it right under a
Get rid of
lamp
the
to play it
batteries.
anymore.
We have a rechargeable lithium-ion battery pack in here. You can get 10 hours.
that lady in it?
What is this lady doing in the
With the front
background?
light on, you can get about 18 with the front light off, and you know, anything in between, depending on how much you use this light. This takes about 3 hours to get a full charge, and we estimate that you can use this for about 3 years. So somewhere around 500 charges. Like I said, it's a cool piece of electronics, but the coolest thing about it is you flip it closed, you can protect the screen.
I was going through my closet recently. I found my SP and it turned on.
Yeah.
I haven't touched that thing in over a decade.
Game Boy Advance SP
Is that possible?
simultaneously
Yeah.
around
Somehow
the
it still
world.
had some juice in
So
it.
we thought you'd like to hear from some of the developers at NCL in Japan, Mr. Okada and Mr. Sugino. As they explained, they've been working on this new model for quite some time to get it just right.
Yeah, I made a new Game Boy. It's got a light on it. Back to you.
Ooh.
We started development on the Game Boy Advance SP in June of 2000.
Have the ability
and
to just
currently
switch
have
to
a
the direct
team
feed
of
of this video, do
approximately
they?
20 people working on the project.
It's like it was given to them in PAL.
On the Game Boy Advance, we had to limit its functionality. But now we thought, let's make a system that would appeal to adult audiences, that had increased functionality at a slightly higher price.
The folding system is something
There's a stern-looking Mario.
Now with the Game Boy Advance SP, we felt it was time to tackle
Back there
that
saying, like, I
challenge.
can't believe you shipped this thing with no light on it. Fix it.
It also
No,
has the
fix
secondary
it.
benefit of protecting the LCD screen from scratches.
The biggest challenge in creating Game Boy Advance SP was to make it lightweight, thin, and most importantly, durable.
Two of the most important features of the Game Boy Advance SP are the front light system and the new rechargeable battery.
The front lighting of the Game Boy Advance SP is more advantageous than a backlit system because it allows you to play in any lighting condition, whether it's bright or dark.
The Game Boy Advance SP has a dedicated front light switch. If you're playing in a dark room, you simply press the button for better illumination of the screen.
I kind of like that, actually. I kind of wish the 3DS had like a button on it instead of going into some
But we
setting.
expect everyone to be able to enjoy the new Game Boy Advance SP.
Has there ever been a console system, mobile or not,
As our developers indicate, we expect this
that has had less buttons with a new
to have
version?
particular appeal to older
I
gamers.
mean, just like
For them,
controller buttons?
Yeah.
the small increase in cost will prove to be a very small price to pay for a great increase in flexibility.
I think
Now Game Boy
so.
will easily invade more college lectures, subway cars, editorial meetings, and those never-ending client conference calls.
Yeah, we.
Game Boy
Nah,
Advance
says
SP
Jason.
Wait.
will launch on March
No?
23rd in North America.
I'd like
No,
a plus
Well, it
minus
did have
and
the
a-
trigger. That's still not as many. I mean, it didn't have analogs
Okay.
and stuff like that. Well, you had the nunchuck
Oh,
though.
you mean just like cross-generation? Not necessarily. I thought you meant like a redesign like
Oh, no,
this.
no, no, no. I mean cross generation.
The Xbox lost the black and white buttons,
But it gained
but it got it got
more.
It got triggers. So
LB, LB, RB.
And in a larger sense, we may see a further shift in the dynamics of video gameplay to Game Boy. We don't have any final sales figures yet for 2002, but approximately 30% of all hardware sales were represented by Game Boy Advance. And the new SP model could further shift gameplay in the favor of portability. We do have about
Please
3
buy a
dozen
game.
prototype systems with
Oh,
us
God.
today in the back of the room. So if you want to take these
Was it?
for a test
Yeah, it was
drive,
out by
we
then.
encourage you
Yeah.
to do so. And we also have several final production copies for those of you who'd like to take some photographs, and we'll have those right up here. I'll be around to answer your questions as long as you like. But before we let you go off and play, if there are any questions right now, I'd be happy to answer those at this time. Yes?
How long will you keep producing the original GBA? Will it stay in
Yeah, we're currently planning to produce both systems. We see this Game Boy Advance SP as a nice complement to the current Game Boy Advance. And with
How long
the
did that
cost of
last?
$30 difference, we see both.
That's just Nintendo's answer. Anytime you ask, is this thing going to replace another thing? They're no matter what it is, like,
Yeah.
no, we're going to keep going with that other thing.
It only uses the lithium-ion battery. And as Chris mentioned, when you're playing, we estimate 10 hours with the light on, 18 hours with the light off. And then the battery itself, we estimate, should last about 3 years. And at this point, we're not planning to sell a replacement. Instead, we'll encourage consumers either to go to Nintendo or through the retailer for replacement. But we're still working on that.
It's weird. That's a weird thing to announce up front. Like, yeah, it'll last 3 years.
Yeah.
We didn't feel it was necessary. I mean, as you'll see when you look at it, you know, it's kind of screwed in there. But there's no need, especially if it's going to last for anywhere upwards to 3 years. Yes?
What color does it come?
It's going to launch in 2 colors, the platinum, which you see up here, and another color we're calling cobalt, which is more of a metallic blue. And you'll see that in the back for the samples. Yes?
Any intention of introducing specific games for the SP?
Because technically it's the same as the Game Boy Advance, there really isn't any need. You know, what's under the hood there is the same technically, so no plans for that. Yes?
This is kind of a lot of questions.
Slowly, it's very close. Japan will launch February 14th. We're March 23rd, and Europe will be about a week or 2 after us. Yes?
What's the size of the screen?
It's exactly the same as Game Boy Advance.
2.9.
2.9.
2.9 inch.
Okay.
What he said.
Screen size, I
Yes.
guess.
Oh,
That's the
yeah,
question.
yeah, probably.
Exactly the same. Nothing has changed with the system except for obviously the look, the size, the design, and then the addition of the front light illumination. Yes, in the back.
What does the SP stand for?
Special, because this is a very
Hey,
special system.
all right.
Nice.
Any other questions?
Confirmed.
Well, if there are no other questions, then I know you guys would like to check out the system, because I think that says a lot more than I can. So I'd like to thank you for coming today, and please feel free in the back, and we have some gameplay experts with us, so if you have any questions. And again, if you want to take any photographs, we have a couple systems up here for
Drew
that.
Scanlon,
And,
gameplay
any
expert.
questions,
That's right.
Happy to answer them. Thank you again.
Brought him in from the Nintendo hotline. I guess I don't know if the hotline still existed at this
Tip
point.
team.
Yeah.
What was that thing called?
It was just the
It was just
hotline.
hotline.
Yeah.
Gameplay counselors, wasn't it?
Yeah. And now I think we've just got a bunch of footage of people like going,
Oh, her. It's got a cable on it. That guy on the right really looks like my friend George.
I haven't really recognized anyone
Yeah, me either.
in any of this stuff yet.
I was not working on this stuff at this point.
I wonder where they would have had this event, if they had it up in Seattle or if they had it here.
Just giving me E3 flashbacks, just avoiding heads.
This guy seems like he's pretty into it.
It's called Game Boy.
Closes.
Check that out. The power switch is on the other side.
Here we go.
No, I figured you gotta sign.
I guess I would totally do that exact same thing, right? You know, just like, all right, okay, what's up with this thing? Holding it.
It's just a good size.
Yeah.
Like even, like don't even tell me what it is. Something that size and of that weight and stuff, it feels good. It's Joe Spiegel.
Spinner Asset Management. I think this guy's filming me.
Oh, the right, it does close. Oh, and it opens too.
What? Oh my god. Does it come with this cool chain? Did we chain this to a person?
We're working on that.
All right, okay.
Jeff Ryan.
That name sounds super familiar
Yeah.
to me.
There was a Jeff Ryan that wrote a book about video games.
And it gets me nothing.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's him.
No, I don't. I don't make anything.
Well, I'm actually working just down the street now.
Are you? What are you doing?
Oh, I'm back at Club Planet again.
Oh, really? They're still around?
I've assumed they bought it back from the investors.
Right.
And just assumed my old title.
Cool.
So I'm now
Where's the
E-reader?
All right. Who knew?
There you go.
It's got to plug in a time.
Little GameSpot in the house.
Yeah.
I think I am going to split. So I will see you around, yeah, and we'll hopefully see you in March. And
Hell yeah.
Are you going to have to see CES?
Well, these are big.
What? Are you going to CES?
No, but E3. I only have room in the budget for one crazy.
Yeah.
I only got room in the budget for one crazy trip.
Becoming, having game features and you know what I'm saying? It's just, I mean, for a gamer, yes. For the casual gamer,
That guy's pretty into the SP.
He's a big fan.
I feel like we're gonna hear someone like confessing to an unsolved crime or something.
Right.
Really blow the lid off something.
In fact, it looks so stylish. It's sort of iPod-esque in terms of design.
yes. No, I agree. It almost looks like a bit more like
iPod-esque.
iPod-esque. Sure.
About cell phone games, people are going to buy their cell phones primarily to make phone calls. The games are almost essentially made. We have a unit here that's primarily made for video games, and I think that will be the thrust of it ultimately.
Could have been New York.
In the portable game market, although they already own it anyway.
I wonder if this would have been like a big mainstream-ish thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, get the focus.
These people all seem like they're from like newspapers.
Yeah.
And
that's what I'm saying. Like if it's like they seem like a mainstream press kind of thing. That,
It's smaller, it's lighter, and I think the most important thing is that it's brighter than the traditional Game Boy Advance. It answers, at least my, what I would have liked to see, in the original product, a really great bright screen, a little bit smaller, a little bit lighter. It's something that you can pick up, take anywhere. And
that first thing you guys made, that thing sucked.
This
thing doesn't suck.
More than just
So I remember never thinking that the first one sucked. Just that, like when this came out, like it was like, oh, right. Or but the aftermarket light stuff obviously was a thing, but I still
helped.
I got a ton of enjoyment out of those games.
I did too. I mean, yeah, everything else about it was fine except for the lighting problem.
I think part of it was just like, again, like I'm not a handheld guy, so I was always playing it inside, never traveling with it.
It's the right size. And compared to playing a game on a cell phone, I mean, you could play right here behind me, Super Monkey Ball, and you can play that on the Game Boy Advance SP, or you could play it on a little, Sanyo cell phone. I got to tell you, it's a lot better on the Game Boy Advance SP.
There you have it. Cell phone games.
Enough said.
Fuck cell phones. Throw them in the trash. Sanyo.
Further owning the portable market.
Well, that's the most important thing. Nintendo owns the portable market, 95% plus share worldwide. And, the company knows it can't rest on its laurels. It has to keep innovating. It has to keep providing people with, new options. But they're not messing with the formula for success. You still can play every Game Boy Color game. You can play every Game Boy Advance game. You've got that massive software library, but you've got a more updated, more advanced hardware platform on which to do it. And frankly, 10 hours of battery life, for a backlit, or in this case, a frontlit screen is really incredible. I wish my
Chris
laptop
Morris there in the
lasted 10
background.
hours. I wish my cell phone
For
lasted
CNN
10
for a
hours.
while.
Yeah.
That in itself is a pretty big accomplishment. So, yeah, it's the same screen size, it plays the same games, but what they've done under the hood in terms of the power management is really impressive. So I think they're going to show some tech.
I mean, this dude is just a guy who's attending the event.
Right.
He's not even like they
Company
just,
spokesperson.
They have drilled the bullet points into him so well. It's like 95% of the market. So
this 95% share is ours.
Oh my God.
Be proactive in keeping it.
And one last question. Consumers, what do you think their reaction is?
Are you sure he doesn't work for Nintendo?
By and large, consumers over the age of, say, 16 have been, lukewarm to Game Boy because they view it as, their little brother or little sister's machine. I think SP is going to help change that. It's never been a question of the software titles. I mean, you've got great titles, Zelda, Four Swords, Metroid Fusion, great titles that older people would want to play, but now they've got kind of a machine you can call your own.
Great. Thank you so much. Awesome job.
Thanks very much.
What do I think of the Game Boy SP as a machine?
All right, let's get Beth real quick.
Okay. Yeah.
While we're in the interview setup, and then
I also don't know that like the look of this is suddenly just like, oh, this is the adult Game Boy. Yeah, this is real nice.
Right. Especially when they made like a purple one.
Yeah.
Oh.
But you were comfortable up there.
Yeah.
It sounded great.
Does it sound okay? All right. All right. All right.
Nice and short and sweet. That's why I like these press conferences.
Yeah, it's very short.
Tell me, the Game Boy Advance SP that was just launched today, or unveiled today, why have we, as Nintendo, decided to upgrade the regular Advance, and what kind of benefits to the consumer?
Nintendo today unveiled the new Game Boy Advance SP, and it's a sleeker design. Actually, let me start that again.
Okay.
Nintendo today unveiled the new Game Boy Advance SP, which is a new sleeker look to Game Boy Advance, and it features a new flip screen design and a new illuminated screen, and we think this is going to appeal to gamers of all ages, but particularly older gamers who want that cool new gadget.
What are some of the benefits of SP?
It's such a weird way to position it. Like I just never.
Game Boy SP is a nice complement to the current Game Boy Advance. It's got a new look with a flip screen design, and it's got a new illumination feature, so the screen lights up, and which makes it wonderful to use in any lighting condition.
Yeah, the grown-up Game Boy. But I guess if they considered that the other ones were more childish,
Or maybe like the GBA just wasn't. Like they talked about how well it was already selling. Like clearly that couldn't all just be kids. Like,
we've made a few additions. It has a new sleek design with a flip screen, and it features a new illumination, lighted. Let me start that over again.
I'm surprised that this was put out by Nintendo that they didn't just edit her down.
I don't. I can't. I just. That's why I can't imagine where the fuck this tape came from.
And it features a couple key
cross media.
From a flip screen design to an illuminated screen to a new rechargeable lithium-ion battery that will give you extended battery life.
Do you think
whether you're using the light or not?
Cross Media went to this event and then sold tapes?
The overall.
It's certainly possible.
Launch of SP, and basically, I think it's
Well, GameSpot's not going to set a camera there. Why don't we just get a tape from somebody else?
games.
That sort of thing.
This now allows you to enjoy games in all lighting situations.
Or maybe.
Or Nintendo contracted them to film the event, and then this is the tape that we'll send all the outlets?
Yeah, maybe. America. And with this new
Maybe we only have one of these
new
because
illuminated
Ricardo is
screen,
on it.
Now you can play Game Boy
Spoilers.
in any lighting condition, whether it's the darkest room or the brightest sunlight.
And maybe they sent him one, like, hey, we interviewed you on this thing here. And maybe that's how.
Well.
Yeah, here you go.
It'll be edited in case I sound like a fool, right?
Yeah,
Awesome. Okay.
Absolutely, don't worry.
Of course.
What's your reaction to the new Game Boy Advance?
Was it edited?
I'm really happy. I travel a lot, and so it's been kind of a challenge sometimes to play my Game Boy. It's kind of well suited for planes, but depending on like where you are, the lighting isn't always optimal to play. So this is great. I'm real excited.
What do you think consumers? How do you think consumers are going to react to, some of the new? Oh, okay. Hold on, Jennifer.
Let me get you a stick.
Yeah, perfect. What was it? Oh, how do you think consumers are going to react to the new stylish design, some of the benefits, the front light, the rechargeable battery?
I think people are going to be real thrilled that it's backlit. That alone is enough to just really stoke people. But I don't think anybody was really expecting the redesign, which is very cool. It looks a lot sleeker, and it's something to brag about with your friends. It's like, yeah, they've got the Game Boy Advance, but you've got like the real elite, like communicator-looking thing. It's really cool.
Who do you think this is going to appeal to in terms of audience?
Geeks. No, I think it's just going to appeal to like hardcore gamers. I mean, I know a lot of people that have really wanted to get a Game Boy Advance, but have kind of like shied away because it's been hard to see. There've been games they want to play, but they haven't been able to play it. I mean, I have a friend that hasn't finished the first Castlevania for it because it's been so dark. So now, I think a lot of people are probably going to lose their minds because everything they wanted to play, they'll be able to now.
And finally, what is this going to do for Nintendo's position in the marketplace? I mean, they already own the handheld market.
They are the handheld market.
Right. How does it kind of further entrench?
Yeah, was anybody else even making handhelds at that point?
Well, I think on the one hand it makes it look Like they're very reactive to people's needs.
Your Geo Pocket was done,
which is really
right?
important.
Yeah.
Because one of the reasons they've been in the position that they've been is because they've been real savvy at reading the market and what people want. And the fact they've been able to do this is really cool. I think overall it's just going to remind people what they do best.
Perfect. Good. Perfect. Thank you so much.
What do you think? What was this interview footage intended for?
I have no idea.
TV news?
Maybe, yeah. Like they would have shopped that out to stations. Like maybe this was just someone. So maybe this company is just doing this B-roll, and they are like a subscription service for local news markets or something, and they send these tapes out to local news to pick it up and use it if they want. And so they go out there, they get these interviews, all this other stuff, and then just send the tapes to news stations. And maybe we only have one because Ricardo's on it. And they just said like, oh, hey, I'll send you a copy of that tape that you were on. I can't.
Still the intro to the game.
Really having a hard time like
why
determining
does
why
this
this tape exists and why we would have it in our library.
I think that's a good theory.
I got what I need, buddy.
I got what I need.
The wire snippers out of the
Now I'm just going above and beyond.
It's a very cameraman thing. I got what I need, whatever.
Yep. Nice one, nice rack focus.
Oh yeah, the mic's over there, just in case.
But also it seemed like this guy was in there before the event taking those unveiling shots.
Yeah. I wonder if he's like the only guy with like a big old shoulder mounted camera, like, oh, you're clearly important.
Yeah.
You are not mad.
Oh no.
I think as long as I don't get stuffed here, I'll be looking pretty good. Oh, I did get stuffed.
Also, why are these people still here? Like, honestly, you pick that thing up, you go like, okay, yep,
Yeah.
this is a better Game Boy, like the light works.
Yep.
Like, you're not gonna just go like, I'm gonna stay here and play Madden. That's why it's gotta be newspaper and non-gaming, because those would be the people that would go like, oh, yeah, Madden, I'll stick around and play whatever, Super Monkey Ball, so,
Yep.
Is that time? It might be time.
Time for a new tape.
Time for a new tape.
All right.
Case.
That was weird.
Yeah, so that's our Nintendo stuff. That third tape was as weird as I hoped it would be. What the fuck is that? Oh my god. Okay, so here's some Sega B-roll from E3 2000.
Okay.
Carnucopia Productions.
Okay.
Apparently produced this sick B-roll.
Nice.
B-roll.
We've got it.
So Sega 2000, this is going to be Dreamcast era Sega stuff.
Got a footage log in here too.
Ah, cool.
Don't want to blow it.
Yeah. And scrubbing through this, I saw some humans in it, which is always exciting.
Yep. TRT of 11 minutes 5 seconds.
All right.
See if we can. Is this tape not rewound?
Someone was extremely unkind.
That would be me if that is indeed the case. Yeah, I'm not seeing any time code here, so.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone.
Wow.
Were there a lot of, all right, yeah, don't look. Were there a lot of events like that?
Yeah.
Back in those days?
Yeah, there were definitely, and typically like an event like that, because that was an unveiling, we would get invited to something like that. Okay. But generally, like, I have to say that was New York. My guess is that they totally did that in New York, because that's where they did, and to a certain extent, still do their big mainstream press events. When they're like going outside of gaming and they're looking for that, they do it in New York, or they would do it in New York. And all the enthusiast press stuff they would always have here, usually. But yeah, that's a strange event, but Nintendo was kind of a strange company compared to a lot of other stuff. Like, You know, Nintendo was having E3 parties where like you would walk in and it was like quiet and elegant and Michael McDonald is playing piano. And you're just like compared to what you think of as like an E3 party, Nintendo was doing.
Yeah. I went to the Madden on the SP.
We stopped by there for like 20 minutes. Like me and Ricardo went to the Nintendo. He would always go, and one year I went with him. You know, he kind of like make a showing, say hi to everybody, all that other stuff. I remember going by there one year for about 20 minutes, going like, "That's Michael McDonald playing piano. What the fuck? I kind of want to hang out here, actually." Weirdly enough.
All right.
It's the first video game console to offer online multiplayer gaming via its high-speed gaming network and ISP Sega Net.
Okay, some good stuff coming up.
Oh boy.
Wait, did an Echo the Dolphin game come out for the Dreamcast?
I don't think so.
No, there are builds of it that have gotten out.
Oh.
But yes,
never came out.
Never. I don't think anything ever shipped.
And the kicks off.
It was a totally new game.
Yeah.
Online multiplayer game.
I love online multiplayer games. Oh wait, maybe it just did come out. Yeah. Yeah. Echo the Dolphin Defender of the Future totally did come out.
Okay. The marker, first down. Way down the right sideline.
So maybe it's just pre-release builds of that Echo game that got out there.
This guy's really fun to watch. He's always plotting, always looking for a little.
I'm trying to remember what my this is a cool thing to have on a B-roll tape.
And you can play it over the internet.
The
Sega
what?
Net.
Yeah! Whoa!
There I go.
How did you see that?
Okay. Oh. I'm trying to remember what my standards were for like 3D games and animation and stuff. Like, would this have blown my mind?
These, like that.
I think so.
That Sega football game when it first came out was pretty fucking mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Like this is not the first year of that game. Like, I think this would have been the second one, the second year of football.
When did the Dreamcast come out?
99.
Okay. 99. Speaking of mind blowing.
Something.
Find your center of balance. Yes, like that.
I feel like this footage either does a terrible job of telling you what Shenmue is, or is doing a perfect job.
I think it's doing a good job of promoting Shenmue.
Sure.
Yeah.
And making you want to buy it, but telling you what this game is, no.
You too can explore the loading docks.
You know about it, you insolent little creep. Oh well, some don't know about it. Those who do can listen again.
From morning to noon and to evening, it has a different face at each time of day.
This is you haven't seen faces like this in a video game before.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they kind of weren't wrong though.
Yeah.
At the time, right?
Yeah. Yeah, probably not.
Spoilers.
Go home.
I mean, this isn't.
There you go. All right.
This isn't too far past that N64 stuff we were looking at, you know?
Yeah.
Like this is a pretty obvious step up.
You fresh?
Also, I feel like this is now a somewhat better look at what Shenmue actually was.
Right, but even but that was innovative.
It's Dragon's Lair. But yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, yes. It hadn't been done in a long time at that point. It hadn't been done polygonally. I feel about this game similarly to how I feel about Parappa when we were talking about it on the podcast this week of like, I like this game. It's not a very good game, but I like it a lot.
Are they making a new one?
There was something that they were showing around TGS as like a VR thing, but it was I don't think it was. I think it was less of a game.
More of a tech demo.
Yeah.
This still looks cool.
Yeah, it's a great look. I wish. I never actually liked playing this game all that much. It just was clunky. Like the control just never felt right to me. The style is so awesome, but like, people love those games. But it never came together for me.
It was motoring. Flap, 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 flap.
It's a beautiful day today.
Okay.
Yeah, well, MSR.
This is some 2000s driving game music.
Yep.
Keep doing the cars.
Oh, yeah. Sega internal demo.
Did that license plate say Roland?
Might have. Chat, community, cheat codes, tournaments.
I love community.
The Sega Online stuff was such a strange...
It's an ISP?
Yeah, they tried to launch it as an ISP, like you could buy a SegaNet account, then you would be dialing up to SegaNet. Theoretically, it's built for gaming, but no.
Pop in game.
Pop in game. Click to get online.
It's called SegaNet. You've got to flip that.
You can get it on the internet. No VMU in there.
Why is no VMU?
It's cold.
Yes! Oh!
One
I'm
guy.
high as fuck. Sweet. Video game console. Oh.
Nice. Ooh.
Yeah, that's about all it's good for. Look at this picture of Dr. Robotnik. I mean, yeah, you could, yeah, there you go. Chow Garden, enjoy it.
I love this idea.
Yep, me too. This, the Pocket Station.
Yeah. Yeah.
What? I don't think I remembered they could do that.
It's called docking. Look it up.
Did they ever really do anything with the VMU that was actually any good?
Not that so for one of the NFL games had a thing you could download that was meant to be like kind of almost like it was like a remake of like the old like Mattel football things, the old super old handheld things. It was like kind of a cool idea, but no.
Sega is the only
Yes.
true gaming company. Unlike our competitors,
Fuck everybody else.
Wow.
intend to dominate the living
You're more coming out swinging.
Rather,
Yeah.
we're all about bringing the ultimate gaming experience to gamers throughout North America, as evidenced by our heritage from the arcade right up to the modern day, where we are pioneering online console gaming.
Next card, please.
Sega is taking gamers where gaming is going with the introduction this fall of SegaNet. SegaNet is the first ISP built specifically for gamers. Low latency, a guaranteed latency in fact, that will provide the ultimate online gaming experience to gamers with games such as NFL 2K1, Quake 3, and Half-Life. Sega's focus for the balance of this year will be the launch of online console gaming. With the introduction of SegaNet, we'll bring great content such as NFL 2K1, NBA 2K1, Half-Life, and Quake 3 to the video console gamer and taking him online with that experience. As always, Sega's focus is bringing gamers great content. Our first priority, as always, is bringing genre-breaking, innovative games. When one looks at our lineup for this year, titles such as Seaman, Space Channel 5, and Jet Grind Radio come to mind as completely innovative and fresh looks at the gaming experience.
No, really, the shit is
This fall,
weird.
Sega will launch our own gaming
When did they
ISP
kill the
called
Dreamcast?
SegaNet. When consumers sign up for a 2 years subscription to SegaNet, they will basically get their Dreamcast.
Would have been 2001?
This program changes the industry.
Did it only make it
paradigm
2 years?
And basically removes the price barrier to
That seems
obtaining a
crazy.
video game console.
Must
It's
have been
for
longer than
free.
that.
Let's look it up.
Surely it wasn't 01.
The SegaNet
It came out in
advantage is
99,
speed.
right?
You
Yeah.
get players as close to the gaming
Maybe it was
network as
02?
possible so that they can enjoy true plug-and-play online console gaming. Only Sega has the triple threat. We control the online access
Sonic's
with
getting
SegaNet,
closer
the
with
hardware
everything.
with the Dreamcast, and the content
looking
with
at you.
Sega games. And the games
January
that
2001.
launch SegaNet
Wow.
this fall.
No
it'll come
kidding.
with
So it came out
Sega
September
Sports,
99,
2K1,
and I mean, it was fucking shocking,
breakthrough.
but also made a surprising amount of sense at the time. You're like, yeah.
Wow.
I think what
So this was the big year for the Dreamcast, basically.
online gaming.
This was them
coming
like
this
making
fall.
their online push.
They had 2000,
Yeah.
It's really the
and they put out a bunch of stuff, and then it died.
future
Holy
in
crap!
gaming. We're going to have platform gaming as we know it today, but more importantly, and what's really going to help grow the business and grow the category in ways we can only imagine today, is going to be the online component. That's a big thing, and Sega
Maybe
is
I'll collect the
ahead in
entire
technology
Dreamcast library.
curve.
It's doable,
Yeah,
especially if you
probably
go like
wouldn't be
North
that
American, and but you can start to go wider than that. Yeah.
I didn't even get one until after it was dead, because, like, I mean, I was a broke
I think I got
college
it for 50
I was
bucks.
a broke college student, but yeah, that was the thing. I bought like a bunch of Dreamcast games for like $5, $10 each, because they were all just getting liquidated.
All right.
It was.
But yeah, they made that weird push, and the online stuff always didn't make much sense because it was like they were like, we're launching an ISP,
Yeah.
and they're like, well, wait, but do I need to sign up for that to play these games, or like I remember there being some confusion around that stuff even in a way that
It's nice. They have the Vice Chairman Midway Home Entertainment Inc. It's good for lower thirds.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. What's next, Jeff?
Brad's got the next tape.
Okay.
Rockstar 2001 E3 B-roll footage in quotes.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Rockstar used to go to E3.
Oh yeah.
Ages and
I
ages
mean,
ago.
and have a booth. Like there are still people who work at Rockstar that go to E3 every year, but
I reround this one.
They don't make a big thing out of showing stuff there anymore.
Right.
...2001, kind of a big year for Rockstar.
Yeah.
Here we go. Look at that logo. Somebody like MS Paint.
Rune. This game was cool.
I don't know that I've ever heard of this game.
I feel like I remember this game actually being kind of cool too.
Had all that weird dismemberment tech in it.
Yeah.
You could like chop people's limbs off. Oh, they're not really showing much of that here. There it is.
There you go.
I don't know how well it's aged, but at the time, it was
Yeah,
pretty awesome. This was Human Head.
Right, yeah. Is this game like in development for a while and get like pushed around?
Maybe.
I'm trying to remember.
That might be right.
Uh-oh.
I just remember the combat feeling really good in this.
Coming release date.
Oh, hey. I've heard of that.
They made a third one of these?
Yeah.
And it's 3D?
Yeah.
My boy will string you up.
Did this like blow up at E3? Did it take E3 by storm, or did it just get shown and people were like, that looks cool?
It just got shown.
Like people weren't really
like, you know, it was they had a booth, they had kiosks, they had this, and they had State of Emergency right next to it.
But I mean, people weren't coming out of E3 going like, oh my god, this game's going to change the world.
Nope. It was hard to really see that at the time, because you're like, okay, I see the bits and pieces of it, but like you never saw enough of it to really get that feeling of like, oh, the scope of this is fucking crazy. And like I liked GTA and GTA 2 just fine, so I was coming into it going like, oh well, you know, all right.
And if you're not expecting
this
it, like
kind of awesome,
looking at this, you can't glean that from
right. You look at it and go like, okay, everything they're saying about it sounds incredibly ambitious in a way that you're just like, nah, no way. How are they going to pull this off?
We're like, oh, it's all the same place, but they're like different levels and
yeah. I've said before, like I came out of that, like seeing that in State of Emergency, going like, State of Emergency looks awesome. GTA 3, I don't know.
Wasn't it like really low frame rate?
Yeah,
it was being shown.
Yes, it was rough.
My friend that had a PlayStation, I went over to his house a lot and we played Smoke Wish Run. Quite a lot.
It was a cool game. These were pretty good. I don't know that I played that much Slugger's Run 2 though. Like this game just had frame rate and all these characters on screen. You would just look at it and play it and go like, oh man, I'm just like blowing away everybody in this crowd. This is crazy. This is just carnage. It's fucking chaos the way an old arcade game was. Just like it had a style, it had a look, like, you know, prior to release. And I don't know. I ended up actually kind of liking this game after it came out. I realize I'm the only one, but and I think it's also aged incredibly poorly. As you play it now, you're like, oh god, this is fucking not so good. But you know, like from a passive glance, this looks a lot like GTA 3 does. You know, of just like, oh, it's a guy running through the streets with a rocket launcher. I don't know. Except there are way more things happening here. Look at all these people on screen. Like, this looks fucking rad.
It just turns out that this is kind of all there is.
Yeah, exactly. And then they had all the weird, like, arcadey kind of mission things in it.
And I'm kind of with you. This visually looks way better.
Yeah.
It has I think its style works for it, whereas GTA was, you know, it's trying the realistic thing, and that's
right. Yeah. But when GTA 3 came out, you know, obviously, once you had some real time to sink into that thing, it was easy to understand. Like, oh, you've gone and made something real fucking special here.
Yeah. This is my first Rockstar game. And until I played
on an Xbox or
PC.
Okay.
I think the thing that struck me was just how dark it was. Yeah. Like, yeah, bullet time stuff was cool, but man, this game is a bummer.
Yeah. These games were really good. I wish I liked Max Payne 3. Never really could get into the console versions of those games though either.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of my problem with Max Payne 3. I tried playing it on console. And
yeah, those were definitely mouse and keyboard games for me.
Yeah.
All right.
That's probably that whole thing.
Yeah, they didn't ever really have a big lineup.
Yeah.
At one time.
They didn't need it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
This tape has, well, look, it's
Just put it in?
Yeah, just go ahead and just go ahead and put that in.
Okay.
And maybe show the tape to the folks at home.
This right here?
Yeah, I was gonna say we don't have a lot of tapes with Korean writing on them in the library.
Yeah.
But
Running time, 7 minutes. Let's do this.
This is another one of those things where you're just like, why would this be in this library?
Yeah.
What actually is this?
Yeah.
I have not seen any of this, but I've got high hopes.
No, we gotta get all this for posterity. Yep. It's cyber, all right.
Yeah.
Bordering on 300 million. The number of internet users will increase to about 11.8% of the global population in 2005. This means about 800 million people will be using the internet.
Great chart.
Internet users
Built
have
well.
become younger, with the majority composed of youth, including teenage students.
Youths.
Their main interest is
Damn
games.
youths.
The global game industry currently stands at about $160 billion. It has already exceeded other components of the overall global entertainment industry, including the movie and film sectors, the largest component in the past. The game industry continues to grow by more than 25% every year. Prominent global companies have come to perceive games as a cultural industry, thus advancing into the industry. Games are no longer regarded simply as an amusement source for children, but as a universal language and a medium for cultural exchange. Hence, games are becoming a major access of the global entertainment
What year
industry.
was this? 2001. Okay.
Games are the most prominent area of the global entertainment industry in the 21st century. Games are a common language of youth around the world.
Okay.
Thus, the World Cyber Games aims to be the epicenter of this 21st century cultural revolution.
What is that logo? Come
Why
on.
is the one ring not with the other two?
Yeah. I don't know. Have to ask them.
The World Cyber Games are an annual event comprised of the world's first and foremost global game competition, a game conference, and a game exhibition. Through the game conference, the world's top game industry professionals will have the opportunity to exchange information and ideas. The game exhibition will provide the general public with the world's greatest game festival.
Was that the name of this organization, the World Cyber Games?
The World Cyber Games was to promote a new cyber culture via games that transcends physical borders and
Yes, a
cultural
new cyber
barriers
culture.
to bring people together.
Rave it up.
The World Cyber Games will lead the development
Who was who was the other
to
what was
achieve
the other
such
big
goals in a
video game
structured and
tournament back then?
efficient manner. The World Cyber Games
Besides these
plans
guys,
to
there was another
establish the ICOC in 2001, comprised
No,
of global opinion leaders.
On the tip
The
of my tongue, I
development
can't
of a
think
vast
of it.
global business network will also
Did a
be
lot of, like,
pursued
Quake tournaments and
alongside
stuff.
the
Yeah.
establishment of the ICOC. This global business network will provide a new business paradigm for the game-related industry.
Paradigm, what's that?
Based on the ICOC and the global business network, the World
Did you see
Cyber
Seoul
Games
was
will
really
expand
big?
the
Yeah.
number of participating
Imagine that.
countries to 70 by 2005. To be labeled as a true Cyber Olympics, cooperative relations will also be established with partners. The World Cyber Games will pursue long-term partnerships with partners in all locales to create more win-win business opportunities.
I love win-win business
The World
opportunities.
Cyber Games will establish both an online and offline foundation for growth.
I like
of
that
the
all
game
these
industry.
crowd shots seem to just be E3. Like, there's a lot of people wearing E3 badges in a lot of these shots.
As the warm-up event to the first official World
Oh, could
Cyber
you imagine
Games,
trucking
the World Cyber
CRTs
Game
around?
Challenge was held in October
Set up
2000
your cyber event?
with the support of the
Yeah.
Ministry of Culture and Tourism and the Ministry of Information and Communication.
Wait,
170
was this just
players
straight up
from
being run
17
by
countries
Korea?
were brought to Korea to compete in 4 official game events and 3 demonstration game events for a total purse in excess of $200,000.
Is that fatality?
The.
Many prominent press agencies such as CNN, BBC, RTL2, and Canal Plus provided coverage of the World
She's a
Cyber
cyber
Game
athlete.
Challenge around the world.
Game profits.
500,000 gamers worldwide viewed the games being broadcast live over the internet. The World Cyber Game Challenge received a favorable review by Computer Gaming World, one of the world's top game magazines with a North American circulation
What does
of
that mean?
300,000. The magazine
Favorable
contained a
review.
special feature on the event forecasting the success of the games.
Good web pages.
The Game World, the exhibit of game characters,
Totally
movies,
cyber.
and games themselves attracted 150,000 visitors.
Cyber
Global
families.
opinion leaders like Nigel Sandiford of Electronic Arts and Bruce Shelley of Ensemble Studios participated in the game forum to promote the development of the game industry. Thus, the concept underlying the World Cyber Games
have
was shown to be
UN
capable
earpieces
of making
in
great
for-
contributions to the
I have
development
worn
of the global
those at a
game
couple of
Really?
events over the years. It's like turn to channel 7 for English. I feel like it's always a TGS.
Nice Zardoz text treatment there.
Man.
The first World Cyber Games will be held in December 2001 in
That's
Greece.
just the Olympics. You can't just show the Olympics.
From about 30 countries will be
They just
invited to
did.
the final tournament. $300,000 will be available in prize money for the 5 official game events. As participating regions expand to include the South American and African continents, console games will also be included in the official game event lineup. Game
There was a Ben-Hur arcade game?
multiplayer
Apparently.
team-based games. The game conference involving various industry leaders, and the game exhibition will also be expanded to a larger capacity, with support from the Korean government.
A virtuality setup in the year 2000. Like, what are they doing?
First World Cyber Games, an official server.
They had to dig it out of mothballs
launched
then.
to strengthen online efforts.
Oh.
This official server genius will be an important tool in administrating the qualifying rounds.
Server
It will
genius.
also be utilized to provide a vehicle for cyber-cultural interchange
that
among
VR headset
World
again.
Cyber game partners all year round. The first World Cyber Games will be the greatest event of the new millennium, held under the auspices and leadership of the ICO.
What was happening in that shot?
Science.
Participating gamers and major
What are with these people?
NASA.
from countries
Game
That's a
cyber
starship.
NASA. Ah!
I mean, it is the future. Come on.
Yeah, get with it.
And then, oh.
And then there's just one more. I don't know.
All right.
Is that a Terminator sting in there?
Kind
I
of
think I
sounds.
heard
Sure did sound
A little bit.
a lot like it.
Wow. That was a tour de force.
That was a powerful 7 minutes.
Yep.
There.
It was pretty good.
Jeez. Wow. All right, we got one more tape. I don't know. This stuff might be. I'm going to assume that this is stuff that is already out there in some capacity because this game has been mined to death so many times over the years.
Yes. That footage must exist on the internet already.
But we need to do our due diligence. We need to view the tapes.
I missed.
Because I can't imagine this is just going to be like a sorted B-roll of gameplay. I guess we don't know when this tape is. This tape's not dated, right?
The library says 01.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Coming.
確かにソリッドスネークは死んだ。だが奴はここにいる。生きていたのか。あるいはもう
Two of them.
Which one of those is game?
今世界は再び核軍拡の道へと進もうとしている。諸君も知っての通り、その契機となったのはジョージ・シー
You're all familiar with Shadow
Yeah, of course.
during the Sears administration, right?
I studied in high school.
メタルギアレックスと
they're just 3D printing Metal Gears. Man, imagine if they could keep making Metal Gears now that 3D printing is a reality.
Sure.
All the other stuff, like what those games would eventually become, of just every single household 3D printing Metal Gear parts.
I'll bet someone has 3D printed a Metal Gear.
彼らの意図をくじいてこの国をあるべき方向に戻すという役割も負っているシャドウモセス島で行われていたメタルギアレックスの開発は NMD 技術の他国への流出によって将来起こりうる核抑止力の減少に備えた
Does this specific footage look familiar to you? Japanese language, subtitled, but given out by US?
I did a quick Google search before this, and I searched like MGS2 trailer 18 minutes, and only like a 7-minute one came up. So I don't know. I think is the one I watched before playing 2.
例の完成とともに戦場は新しい時代を迎えるのだ諸君は我が国の未来を背負っているということを理解しておいてもらい
more serious in Japanese.
Sounds a lot more anime.
Yeah, this specific B-roll not really ringing any bells. I mean, obviously it's all like early footage,
yeah.
like all this footage is from.
I mean, this is like, of course, before anyone knew the true nature of the game,
Sure.
so it's all going to be Snake. And,
Yeah. But like this cut with this music and everything, I don't remember this. Seems really obvious looking back at it at this point. It's like, yeah, this is like 90 minutes of game. Like, nobody at the time ever stopped and thought like, huh.
Right.
There's only like 5 characters in this and all these shots are from, well, this is from later.
Yeah, because they did do a couple of bits where they showed late game stuff, but still had Snake in
there.
it.
Yeah, like this. But this is kind of mid game, right? I think.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess
it's been a while since I've played MGS2.
I guess this is all from like a few months before this came out.
Yeah.
I don't like it when games do this where it's very clear that this is gameplay because he's animating like a player-controlled character would,
Yeah.
but it's not from a gameplay angle.
Yeah.
Although, who knows, maybe they were experimenting with that at that point.
I think Kojima just liked making his games look really cool in trailers. Like, wasn't the whole thing that he edited all the trailers themselves back then? Or himself? I swear I remember.
I feel like that was the case.
I swear I remember that going around. They said that he did all the editing on these things.
Yeah. But then I wonder if this is something he cut together,
Maybe
then,
not-
or
maybe
if
not
this
this.
is something that's just like, it's a longer set chunks
Maybe
of roll.
maybe it was just that first big debut trailer that he did.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't work out so well.
Depends your perspective, I guess.
Yeah, although, the first game took place entirely in, one complex.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean,
you would maybe think that it all takes place on the ship. Well, I guess it all took place on big shells.
Yeah.
戦うことでしか自分を表現できなかったが、いつも自分の意志で戦ってきた。いい演説だった。さすがは海兵隊司令官。話がうまい。何者だ。 だがそれだけだ。新型の性能はよくわかった。こいつを奪うつもりか。奪う。返してもらうのだよ。誰も動くな。オセロット。
Probably should have just shot him. Uh-oh.
There's that pesky arm thing.
He's got the Fire Beast arm.
久しぶりだな、兄弟。お前は？そう、俺だよ。リキッド。
It's pretty fucked up concepts at play in this game.
Yeah.
だがそれも単なるワークネームに過ぎ、奴のコードネームはソリダス・スネーク。
Mr.
液体でも液体でもない金星の取れた。
What ended up being the actual truth? Like, he really did have the arm was real, right? But he was making up, or he was
just
hypnotized himself.
Self-hypnotized,
yes. Into thinking that it was controlling him. And also faking the voice.
Yeah, right. I forgot about, yeah.
Oh, Metal Gear.
Yeah. I forgot at some point they went so anime with it. They were like, we need to find a way to unanime parts this. Oh, he hypnotized himself. It's not even real. It doesn't help. That doesn't even make your story better. I think it probably would have been better if the arm had just had magic powers, honestly.
This is amazing what they can do with like the first 2 hours of the game.
And I guess they never even really hinted at the Raiden stuff, did they? Pre-release?
I don't think so. Not that I remember. Right.
Yeah.
That was when they said, like, all right, we're done with media.
Yeah. Okay, so this must be out there because this is cut like an MGS trailer.
Yeah, I think this is the trailer from the last year before it came out, I think. Or did this come out in 2002? Did it get pushed a year? I can't remember.
Is this maybe a collection of trailers?
No, I think this was the entire E3 display that year.
Okay.
This might
and
be
then some.
This is probably some like raw gameplay, if I had to guess. Shoot that guy in the knee.
It came out in November 01.
Okay, so it did make it out the year that this came out.
Yeah.
Yep. That's Metal Gear.
I guess that works.
Oh, it's his dog tag. I'm like, what the fuck was...
Right.
Right, of course. You get the dog tags. It's pretty cool that you came inside and were still wet.
Yep. I mean, the ice cubes melt.
Yeah.
What more needs to be said?
Right. Why did you even do that?
Yeah, this is some interesting B-roll.
I remember this area.
Yeah, this is the room with the ice cubes, I think.
I was gonna say, is that just gonna be in this footage?
It very well could be.
Shooting up this room.
Yep, done that quite a few times. I mean, seeing this B-roll as a Metal Gear Solid fan must have been amazing.
Oh man, I was dying to play this game.
Yeah.
Do not understand how bad I wanted to play this. And that Zone of the Enders demo came out.
Yeah.
Played through that thing so many times. Actually, maybe was that out by this point?
Wouldn't have been.
Maybe not.
I guess I could look up when Zone of the Enders came out.
Yeah, I forget when that came out. Maybe that wasn't until fall.
That was March 2001.
Okay, so this was out.
Yeah, theoretically, if we assume this is E3 footage,
yeah,
then yeah, this demo would have been out. Well, that's that, I guess.
Did he just tiptoe by him?
Did you kind of like step like a little lightly around the bodies to not step directly on them? Didn't they have an animation thing for that?
No.
Yeah.
It's the legendary soldier.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like, I remember being like at least somewhat
Raven.
Ambivalent about this because I just had like mixed feelings about the first game.
Whoop.
Oh, did they not show the Raven thing? Did they just do that and then cut? That's really good.
Tease you with it.
That's a really good thing to put for your release. That's
yeah.
But I guess like I still, like everyone thought this stuff looked incredible. I just remember kind of like going like, this story, I don't know. Like I wasn't necessarily like dying for MGS2 after just kind of how I felt about the first game.
I'm under enemy fire.
I feel like I kind of just kept saying like, yeah, it's gonna be like 2 hours long. Like watch, it's gonna be super short, just like the first game was.
My memory of this game is that it's pretty long.
Yeah.
Mine too.
You would know better than
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I definitely didn't feel like the game was short.
Yeah.
The way I kind of felt about the first game.
So the first game's like what, like 8 hours with cutscenes?
Yeah. Yeah, like that was my big thing. It was just like you're gonna watch the whole thing and then play it for an hour or whatever, you know?
Right.
Hour-long cutscene stuff. Coming away from that first game feeling like this dude should just be making movies.
Yeah. Whoa.
Enemy sight. Requesting backup unit.
We've lost contact with the engine room. Backup unit, check it out. Attack team, come back at once. Guard team, stay alert.
Repair of the entranceway to the engine room on the port side is complete. We'll return to position following control of the small room on the port side.
Oof.
unable to.
B-roll from 10 years ago, or gosh, 15 years ago. A lot rougher.
It's kind of questionable, some of it.
It's not as like.
It's not very polished.
Yeah, it's not just like bang bang kind of.
Yeah.
Like even when we get, we still get B-roll packages.
Yeah.
Once in a while.
I've got a PlayStation VR B-roll video
all
sitting in a
pristine.
folder. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have, yeah.
Yeah, like
you wouldn't have dudes messing up in the gameplay.
Yeah, like well rehearsed.
Yeah.
Not so much like this.
It's a little too real.
Right.
Oh boy. Classic roll.
But there's something to be said for like, hey, we've got our long kind of trailer that we're showing, but then here's just a bunch of gameplay of it.
Yeah.
Though I guess like if this demo was already out, this is a little weird to be putting out. But
yeah, everybody played all this by then.
I want to play more Hitman.
Yeah. Yeah. Got the phone. Or shoot some watermelons.
Yeah, either way. Come on. It's not even playing the game.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just get down flat on the floor, they won't be able to see you.
Yeah.
Stop kidding around. Snake?
I think that's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I believe so.
All right. Well.
I'm gonna be kind here and
Yeah. Roll it back.
Just in case.
Oh man, that was a tape journey.
That was a lot of
sure.
that was a lot of tapes.
A lot of tapes.
Yeah.
That Nintendo stuff.
Turn of the century tapes.
Yeah.
Some weird stuff in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've there are still a ton of tapes.
There are. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is scratching the surface.
Yeah. So we'll be back more tapes. Maybe it's time for us to maybe watch another press conference. Trying to think like what would be a good one.
There's a lot of them out there.
Yeah. I guess like recently it's I saw people sending around was it Anthony Parisi shot video at E3 95.
Yes, I talked to him today about that. He approached me and said, "Hey, I've dug up all these old E3 tapes. If you want to do something with them,
we should get all those old E3 tapes."
I had been meaning to. Well, I don't know that he's going to give us the tapes.
Well, okay, whatever we can get.
I'd talked to him about that stuff.
Yeah, that stuff should be out there for the world to see.
Been meaning to look at that stuff.
I would love to look at that stuff.
Yeah.
Let's look at some stuff.
I love looking at stuff.
Yeah.
Look at my eyes. They look at stuff all the time. Thanks for looking at this stuff. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Look at your stuff later.
Yeah.